What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we have a little bit of Detroit Lions news. We got some updates for the Detroit Lions. They have a couple of more moves that they have recently announced, and I just wanted to update everybody on for tonight. So let's get this started.
I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, guys don't know, DoseOfDion, he put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here. And yes, I just want to keep everybody in the loop with what's going on with the Detroit Lions. Some of the latest news that we have. We actually just got off our Michigan versus Michigan State stream. So if you guys were in there, I appreciate it. It was a very good time. Congratulations, Michigan. It was good to see. Rematch Sunday. So I hope you are there if we are streaming. Like, come on, man. You don't want to miss out. We have a lot of fun in there. Plus, if you're a Michigan or Michigan State basketball fan, and if you're not, it's always a great time to get into it, especially the Michigan side. We're doing pretty good. Trufant was told that, he's going to be released once the new league starts, which will free up $6 million for the Detroit Lions in cap space, which is a must because as of right now, not even including the Terrell Williams contract, the Lions are $9 million over the cap. Terrell Williams was signed by the Detroit Lions to $4.7 million to $6.2 million. Not exactly sure how the contract is going to, but it's in that range. And now we have some more news. They have announced that they have placed tenders on 3 exclusive free agents. Now, an exclusive free agent is basically a free agent that has had 3 or less seasons in the league, yet their contract has expired. So basically, if that team puts out the tender, they can't negotiate with another team. Either they can accept the contract for the league minimum or they can sit out for the season. That's their only options that they have. So basically, those guys are going to be back for the Detroit Lions. Now, those 3 players include Matt Nelson, the tackle, Jason Cabinda, the fullback, and Jack Fox, the punter. And why this is so good for Lions is because it's cheap, it fills out roster spots, and they're solid players. Jason Cabinda was our starting fullback last season, as Nick Bawden has been pretty much injury riddled for his entire career, and that's someone that I expect the Lions to cut as he is currently under contract. So I expect Nick Bawden is going to be cut this offseason, which will save the Lions some money, and then for the league minimum, they can basically get back their fullback in Jason Cabinda, which works out perfectly. The former linebacker that has moved to the fullback position, and he played pretty well. I mean, he played solid. We saw him catch some passes. He wanted to play offense. This guy just wanted his opportunity to have the ball in his hands. He's like, hey, it's more fun to, be receiving the football. So it's good for Jason Cabinda. Jason Cabinda literally gives you versatility to another level. Not only can this guy play fullback, but he can also play defense because he's a former linebacker. Plus, he's given us a lot of snaps on special teams in the past. Over 60% of the snaps on special teams, he has been on the field. So Cabinda kind of gives you a little bit of everything. And we know that if the Lions do need a fullback, which we're kind of expecting is going to be used because we are expecting the Lions to look to run the football next year, then there you go. Bawden would save you roughly $780,000 now because he does have a $21,000 bonus for the Detroit Lions that would go to, I guess, dead cap, but $780,000 which Lions would save, and I'm pretty sure that the league minimum is $610,000 to $675,000, so they're saving about $100 grand. $100 grand. Hey, in the NFL, that's not a lot of money, but hey, if you want to just slide over here, just be like, hey, you know what, just for being a cool guy. I'll take the $100K. I'll be a cool guy. I'll represent, I represent the Lions merch. No. All right. Jack Fox, of course, the Pro Bowl punter, who was one of the best punters in the league, who was like putting up records for the Detroit Lions. He was tremendous last season. To get him back on a league minimum deal is going to be awesome. Okay, he's not going to want to sit out this season, right? Guys don't want to sit out. So he's going to take that contract. He'll be back, and we'll get our punter back. And then finally, Matt Nelson, the tackle, who actually played 242 snaps for the Detroit Lions last season, which is pretty nice as well. So he had some opportunities to play, and he's just a solid tackle. FF actually gave him his highest grade as a run blocker, but he's just been a pretty reliable tackle that only had 2 penalties, but he didn't allow a single sack. So I mean, those are solid numbers, and it just gives us depth. It's one of those positions where Anthony Lynn said, hey, that's our deepest position on the roster is the offensive line. So the Lions to get, again, a minimum deal. These are players that can fill out the roster. What did Dan Campbell tell us? If we're going to sign guys that are basically less talented players but are going to compete for roles and they're going to fill out the roster spots, that opens up what we can do in the draft. You don't have to worry about filling out the punter position, and you shouldn't have to because you got a Pro Bowler, but you don't have to worry about as much filling out the fullback position. And to fill out depth on the offensive line, that all works really well. So the Lions made that news. They fill out some spots for basically league minimum deals, and it works out well for both sides. Well, it works out well for the Detroit Lions at least, and hey, they're still on the team, and there you go. It's pretty good news for us. So that's the other news the Lions gave us today, as well as telling us that Desmond Trufant was going to be cut, which we kind of expected. So cheap deals, fill out some roster spots, and of course getting Jack Fox, Cabinda, and Nelson back never hurt. Those aren't bad things to have happen, as they're all solid players. players for the Detroit Lions. Also, people have been telling me about this Pat McAfee interview with this guy named Dan Campbell. The alpha male, Dan Campbell, and apparently Pat McAfee had this interview. I gotta check this thing out, but I have not watched it yet. It's about 30 minutes long. I saw Pat McAfee on Twitter, put the link. I'm going to do a video. If you guys want to see me react to that interview in a video, put it down in the comment section below. I think we could do a reaction vid. That's why I'm saving it. I think we can do a reaction vid. I heard it'll fire you up, it'll hype you up, and how would it not? I mean, Dan Campbell always gets you hyped up. I'm just excited to see what it's like during the season when we win a football game, how hype it's going to be. Okay, the sights and sounds. Whoa, we better win some football games because I want to see that. I want to see the energy, and I know he's going to bring a lot of energy. It should be pumped. I mean, we should be pumped. When Darrell Bevell took over, you could just feel kind of the energy. He was excited, and I feel like Dan Campbell's going to bring that times 2, times 10, potentially with the Detroit Lions. But I do have something that you guys should check out if you haven't. So TJ Hockenson was on this. I think it's called Bussin' with the Boys or something like that. I don't exactly know what it's called. But George Kittle was on there. They had a Titans linebacker on there, and they had TJ Hockenson. And it's about an hour and 40 minutes long. So I know it's kind of long, but I enjoyed it. I extremely enjoyed it, and I listened to pretty much the entire thing this morning just while I was working on some other stuff. And it's funny. It's a funny show. They asked TJ Hockenson a lot of questions. He gave us some nice answers. 6 months later, after Bob Quinn drafted TJ Hockenson, 6 months later, Bob Quinn was like, man, you were not the guy I drafted. And he's like, no, I'm not. You're having way too much fun, which is kind of a weird thing to say, by the way. Like, you're having too much fun? Okay, that's kind of strange. Obviously, that's not a very good environment. I think just right away, that's kind of concerning a little bit. But TJ Hockenson has his hair grown out. I see what he's trying to do. I cracked the code, TJ. You're not slick. We know what you're trying to do. You're trying to look like our coach, Dan Campbell. He did say the Detroit Lions are kind of like tight end you, but for the NFL, So I'm like, okay, hey, there's not many head coaches that are former tight ends. Really good. I mean, he talked about Jared Goff, saying that he was excited to work with Goff. And, Goff was one of those guys. He mentioned Matthew Stafford in a way like Jared Goff is, they were both guys that, they weren't going to yell. They were going to help you out. They were just cool people. They were for the boys. They kept saying for the boys, but they were cool people. They're just guys that you want to hang out with, guys that you want to be around is what Jared Goff. He touched a lot on Matthew Stafford. So if you want to hear some, good Matthew Stafford talk and things like that he had some really high praise for him. Then you guys can go check it out. But I think it's really good in general. Like I definitely enjoyed it. He talked about how Dan Campbell has been, kind of firing everybody up and everybody's just excited. He's like, the first time I talked to him, I was excited. I want to play for this guy. We're all excited. And how much he loves Detroit. I mean, he was kind of like recruiting, hey, come to Detroit. He loves it here. He's like, man, it's growing on me. I love it here in Detroit. It's great. The fans are awesome. We want to start winning for this fan base because, they have to be loyal. They're all loyal, but he said everywhere they go, he gets compliments like, hey, good game, even though we lost 4 in a row. Good game. You played well. So, hey, it's a great interview. I suggest you guys check it out if you want to. It's very entertaining, and I will be watching that Pat McAfee one. The question is, should we do a video reaction to it? Y'all let me know. But that's just a couple of Lions updates that I have for tonight, and that's it. Kenny Golladay news should be coming soon. We were told Justin Coleman news should be coming soon, and a lot more will also be happening. Also, I'm going to be working on a video where I predict some of the free agent signings the Lions will make this offseason. So yeah, that should be coming very soon. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. And also the draft won't be coming closer to the draft. I know I put the thing out for it, but that'll be coming close to draft. I'm going to leave it here. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching. Everybody have a good night, and I'm out.